So we here at Heartlands Media believe in free speech and protecting journalists, and more importantly, ensuring that we have a free media, and not only here in the United States, but worldwide. And I am ever fearful of the jackboot of censorship, and I keep on saying this. But Aaron Maté recently spoke out in an event in Toronto in regards towards an event for the people of Palestine, and we're going to be talking about Gaza and Palestine. We got a couple of stories, especially with CNN doing some fake anger at Trump. Where was that rage when things were really going down? But nonetheless, this is Aaron Maté speaking in regards to one of his colleagues who has been arrested in Germany. And I think we have to do whatever we can right now to at least stand in solidarity, because no journalist should be arrested or detained for doing their job. So this is Aaron Maté. He's an award-winning journalist, reporter. He's done fantastic work on The Gray Zone, as well as being a co-host on The Jimmy Dore Show and even hosting The Jimmy Dore Show. So let's play it.
Just reading about it now. For those who don't know, Ali, he's the co-founder of the Electronic Intifada, a vital site for information about Palestine. It's been around for a very long time. And I'm among many people who would be so ill-informed without Electronic Intifada. So I'm very upset to hear that Ali's been detained. I'm not surprised, though, because Ali's been at the forefront of calling out the complicity of European states in the genocide in Gaza. And so the fact that he's being arrested now in Zurich is not surprising. Also following so many other crackdowns in Europe. Like, what is it about Europe deciding to carry on the Nazi tradition in the service of today's Nazis? So I'm reminded of that doctor from Gaza. I'm sorry his name escapes me, but the very well-known one who went recently to try to, yes, who was arrested, or was prevented from entering the country to deliver lectures that he was invited to. I mean, this is the face of Europe right now. It's so abhorrent. And so, free Ali Abunimah.
Now, for those of you who don't know, just real quick, just so everyone can be made aware of it, this is his own personal Twitter account, because we have to call for the freedom of Ali, because all what he did was he just did his job. He did his job to cover the news. And unfortunately, in this day and age where we have massive amount of censorship, it's clear to me that narrative is being pushed upon us. Now, this is his own Twitter account. I am urging everyone, if you haven't done so already, please follow him. And right now, there's even a petition calling for his immediate release as well from change.org. So let me just read it for all of you guys right now. There's right now 15,292 verified signatures for his release. I will be copying and pasting this link and putting it in the live stream chat. So if you are unaware of it, hang on. I'll be posting it in here for our Rumble audiences as well on Kick. So that way, if people want to put in their signature to call for his immediate release, please do so. I am, again, fearful for the future of media and journalism in this country. So let's talk about this. The issue: award-winning Palestinian American journalist, by the way, and human rights defender Ali Abunimah, executive director of the media platform Electronic Intifada, was violently and forcibly taken by unidentified individuals in civilian clothing while working on the streets of Zurich on Saturday, 25th January of 2025. He's now held in administrative detention by the police, who intend to deport him out of the country on Monday. He was on his way to giving a lecture about the history of Palestine after another event he was going to deliver the following day was canceled due to external pressure, following a defamatory article in a local newspaper basically accusing him of radical Islamism and anti-Semitism. The cantonal police supposedly obtained a prohibition for him to enter the territory once he was already in the country, a decision which was not subjected by any legal review. Ali was brutally abducted in violation of due process. So Ali has not been convicted of any crime by Swiss authorities. What are you doing, Switzerland? Who have acted on a basis of defamatory accusations to repress free speech and prevent Ali from participating in the events. This is not only an attempt to silence his voice as an individual, but the manifestation of a wider campaign of repressing and intimidating those who dare speak up for Palestinian human rights and against the genocide, fitting into a pattern of racism and Islamophobia, a campaign by special interest groups and powerful institutions to silence the truths and deny oppression of the Palestinian people, attacking free speech and waging war on journalism. So, folks, if you haven't done so already, please call for his immediate release. Please sign if you haven't done so already. And look, we have people like Aaron Maté speaking out, but it requires all of us to speak out, because if they could do this to one person who, by the way, again, American journalists, if they're able to silence one voice, many voices can be silenced as well. And that is fearful and should cause all of you to raise an eyebrow. And I don't care where you stand politically or socially. I don't care who you worship. The fact that an American journalist was detained in that kind of manner and is right now still being held says a lot about the future of this media landscape, and causes me to be in a bit of a panic as well for our future, for all media. Stand for free speech and stand for independent media. Whistleblowers and journalists should not be arrested. They should not be detained. Keep your heads on a swivel. I was hoping 2025 would be a little bit hopeful with maybe some changes. I think I'm about to be proven wrong.
Radio station just censored the word devil. Clearly, we are on a different level. I guess you wouldn't notice all the rolling boulders crashing past your shoulders when you're taught to shift your focus lower, scream at all the pebbles, cheering on the bombers because you can't abide the rebels. But I bet you'll wring your bloody hands when all the dust has settled, when the last little limb is pulled from Gaza's twisted metal. Then you can say how you were led astray, and never once in all your days would you have knowingly supported all the genocide for which you clapped and prayed. But they baited you with unconfirmed blurbs about babies until you were filled with rage. Yet someone told you babies had been starving, bombed, and caged for nearly 80 years in Gaza, and you looked the other way. So regret, but make it fashion. Go and pluck that final petal off a hyacinth on Instagram for every kid they kettled. Every son that Israel imprisoned when they're little, that they tortured for a decade, then surprised with their acquittal. And when they got released and saw their parents and whatever siblings hadn't met the missiles, they stared right through their middle. Their eyes don't seem to focus, and their words are all but dribble, like they're pondering the darkest riddle. That is, how many false flags does it take to make humanity inhuman and uncivil, distorted by the revel? The crooked slant where Israel contorts into America, Biden bathing Bibi in a bloodbath in the bevel. I opened up my feed and I saw children disassembled. Turned some music on and heard the station censor devil. Imagine thinking Doja Cat's a threat to moral fabric in the single largest terror cell that ever felled a temple, that ever sparked a cleansing, that ever burned a market, that ever raped with bayonets or carpet-bombed apartments, that ever turned your water off and left you in the darkness, left you doing surgery on children while they're conscious. You sing the devil's praises every time you sing our anthem. You sing a hymn to him that watched us birth a million phantoms. You'll proudly wave his flag, and yet you will not name the devil? Well, clearly, we are on a different level. I can give you names, shit, I'll give you several. They say the devil wears a different face for every general, like a composite of the char he brought to fields of emerald, and the wail of every childhood we made ephemeral. So who else has left the stain of blood on everything they touch? Who else can starve civilians and they don't so much as blush? Who else has paid for Gaza being flattened into dust? If there's ever been a devil on this earth, then it is us. That's U.S. What an ugly couple letters. Feeding shit and ignorance to those it chose to tether. From the river to the sea, both are slowly growing redder. For the devil that you know just knows you better. It knows every gut reaction it could ever make you feel. It knows fear is that which wakes you up and gets you on your wheel. It knows just the kind of story that will justify its war. And the scripts are wrapped for World War IV. So just imagine my surprise to give the radio a listen and to hear such pious morals out of Zionists and Christians that they'd take the devil's name and try to clip it from existence while they carry out his bloody business. You would wave a fascist flag, and yet you honor not your Iblis? Name you not Apollyon? Hush you now your witness? Bleed the name of Belial till tongue is rolling listless in the man-made mouth of Mammon, as Lamia's whispers listen. when carts are wheeling bodies through the cities that we crushed, and the very air is rotten with decay of all that was. Who else would censor devil, yet behave as Legion does? If there's ever been a devil on this earth, then it is us. U.S., but not a unity of souls. More a mass of corporations turning houses into holes, turning people into puppets, turning puppets into mold, turning mold into nutrition bars worth their weight in gold because they're bombing every bakery and burning every field with phosphorus that never once has wanted for a meal. The devil wears a mask and it delights in the reveal, in that moment where the face is let to peel. We do not love the underdog. We do not cheer the rebels. We lust for all their blood until the dust has finally settled. Then pity just ourselves that we were so misled to revel. Proudly wave his flag, and yet we will not name the devil.